talk about what does next gen VAS mean for the emerging markets. Like earlier speakers, like Colin was also talking about things mean different things. What is legacy to a country is probably not legacy to another country. Similarly, what is next gen to a particular region or particular socio-economic profile is probably not next gen to another one. If we look at emerging markets have their own individual characteristics. If we look at ARPUs vary from $4 to $10. If we look at literacy rates, much lower than the rates you see in the western part of the world. Voice is still a dominant medium of communication. Yes, data is growing, but the base is small, the absolute numbers are small, the rate of growth is pretty high. So keeping these points in mind, I thought probably what it means next gen for a Western world isn't probably the same thing for the emerging markets. And but then I thought, what are the technology evolutions which are happening around the globe? How can those evolutions actually help people in emerging markets? So if you look at 2G went to 3G to 4G, and now 5G is being talked about, being discussed about. On the other side of the spectrum, you see about fixed mobile convergence. A lot of things are happening around that space. I don't know how many of you have heard of augmented reality. Another space which is said to be probably amongst the top 10 most disruptive technologies to be there. Whether it's going to be there next 5 years, next 10 years, I don't know, nobody knows, but something which can change the whole landscape. Now, if we look at all these technologies and the special characteristics or attributes of emerging markets, what is it that we can do for subscribers or consumers? I like to call them consumers because everybody consumes something. Let's not look at people as mobile subscribers. In my understanding, all of us are consumers. We consume things differently at different times in different places. Now, if you look at how have these technologies evolved and what are the new avenues which these technologies actually bring out for all of us. Location. Is location something which is going to help us create many different types of services for the subscribers, for the new age subscribers? How is augmented reality going to play a role, maybe in advertising, maybe in tourism, maybe in education? Augmented reality actually can do virtually everything that you can think of. It brings both digital world and the real world together. How will social networks be impacted as we go forward? Does voice have a role to play in social networks? How will mobile governance be there? Can mobile governance be an important piece in emerging markets? Because, as I said, emerging market characteristics of low literacy rates, is voice the right medium for allowing governments to communicate with the citizens, with the people in the countries? What kind of other services which can be created? Today, whenever I go and talk to operators, everybody has one thing in mind, be it we as vendors or operators as service providers, everybody wants to have that one extra dollar, one extra rupee, one extra pound from the customer. Now, the point is, typically the consumption patterns or the spends which people incur on communication needs are more or less defined. You can't change them dramatically. Maybe you can have 2-3 percentage points change here and there, but if I spend 2% or 2 percentage points of my income on communication, I'm not going to make it 5%. Now, if I want that extra dollar from the subscriber, it's not all that easy. What is typically going to happen as we move along and introduce new and new services? Service A revenue will move to service B revenue will move to service C. That's the only way things are going to happen. Unless we think dramatically different. Can we think of creating services which can help, let's say, an electrician get 5 extra customers every day? Can we think of creating services which can help a plumber get 200 rupees a day extra? Then he's going to be willing to pay you 5 rupees extra. Otherwise, no. So I think we have to, as an industry, we have to start focusing on how do we help our subscribers actually grow. yeah, lifestyle and entertainment services are one piece of things, but if we can actually help add value to our subscribers' lives in terms of making some extra money, they will be ready to shell out a percentage of that extra money they are making to us as service providers. So we have to be conscious of that fact, as well as to what kind of services we should conceive and we should talk about. Now, if I look at all these services one by one, let's say location. I think 5 years back, people were talking about location. Outdoor location services were available, and but if you look at emerging markets, or the markets like Asia or Africa, devices are not all that smart. GPS was not a functionality available. But over last few years, prices have come down. People have started owning devices which are GPS enabled. But as we move indoors, my GPS is not going to work in this room. Now, with femtocell kind of technologies coming in, I can actually locate an individual subscriber within 10 meters. Now, does that throw open certain opportunities for us as industry? Yes, I'm in a shopping mall. Can I be the right target audience for a small shopkeeper in that mall selling something to me? Probably yes. When I'm sitting at home, I'm watching TV. All of us know for ad insert, for a particular ad insert, unless you show it play 12 times, you don't get the eyeballs you really want. So that's what the advertising industry says. If you have to reach your target audience, the numbers you want to reach out to, you have to play that insert almost 12 times. Very cost ineffective. And additionally, I am sitting at home. At that time, I am not really interested in buying. 2 days later, I may decide to go to a mall and try to buy something. But 2 days is a long enough duration for me to change my mind. That brand recall, what kind of brand recall will be there, I don't know. It may be there. But can I make it much more effective by talking to my consumer, my prospect, when he is actually intending to buy? I think that is the crux. If technologies can enable advertisers, enable various industry segments, various shopkeepers to reach out to their subscribers, to reach out to their prospects at the right point of time, at right place, I think there is a lot of opportunity which exists there. With the location, can I create services for subscribers which are more, or can I start location-based billing, location-based charging? Today, we had launched a service called dynamic discounting in Africa last year, and it has been a very, very successful service. Why? Because the network quality in Africa wasn't all that good to start with, and some of the places the network congestion was causing a lot of problems, and some places network was completely free. So operators came up with this idea of discounting the services at the places where they did not have enough traffic. And though they did not go for the premium for locations where there was extra traffic, but that's also a possibility. If I'm sitting at home, can my charging be different? Using femtocell kind of an example, can my charging be different from the way I'm charged when I'm outside? So there are various possibilities which can be explored, and what I have, whenever I have spoken to people around the globe, people are looking at creating differentiated pricing mechanisms depending upon the subscriber needs and the way their network utilization is taking place. Can location help me in accessing emergency services better? Probably yes. Now I can be pinpointed. Let's say I am in a zone where I need some emergency service. It's easy for any enforcement agency to locate me within 10 meters, or within, maybe let's say within a very well defined geographic area. Can we create services around those? I think there's a possibility around that as well. If we look at going forward, we had first presentation today which spoke about karaoke and all those things, and I think that was a very interesting presentation. A lot of that stuff, of course, is happening in rest of the world also today. But what kind of maturity levels have come in, I'm not really completely aware, but I was quite impressed with the presentation in the morning. Now, can I look at music in a completely different way today when I look at mobile networks. I don't know. If we look at how the music is distributed in today's world, 55% of music distribution happens over physical media, 23% happens online, and interestingly, 22% happens over mobile. I don't think anyone of us actually have seriously thought about 22% of music distribution worldwide happening over mobile. Can it be increased? Today, music distribution in mobile is all segmented. You have CRBT on one side, you have music on demand, full tracks on the other side, you have wallpapers on third side, ringtones on the other side. Can we create a holistic picture around that? Right now, I have downloaded a ringback tone. Am I the right target for a wallpaper for the same artist, for the same genre? Probably yes. Can we cross leverage that intelligence across platforms to be able to deliver full-fledged service to that subscriber? I may like Shah Rukh Khan or Tom Cruise, but if I have downloaded something from these two artists, belonging to these two artists, I can also be a prospect for anything else which these artists might be related to or the same genres. So I think that's one thing which we should look at very carefully. Other thing is, how can personalization and recommendation play a role in the way I consume services today? I think the networks have become more and more evolved, and the evolution of these networks allow us to understand each consumer much better. These allow us to target services for different people differently. And if I like 1960s music, can an operator understand? We have launched a pilot with Airtel in India, and wherein we are trying to profile the subscribers' likes and dislikes, and based on that recommend the right kind of music for the subscriber. And we have launched this pilot, and the results are very encouraging. So it has actually helped the consumers also. If I may share some of the results, earlier whatever the promotional stuff was being sent to the subscriber, and the conversion rate there was 0.9%. We have actually experienced conversion rate of more than 5% today, and this is within 60 days of launching that trial. So what I'm trying to tell here is, if we are able to identify the right content for the right set of people and promote it at the right time, it shows results. So as operators and as vendor community, I think this is some personalization and recommendation is an important piece for us to promote various voice VAS services or any VAS service for that matter. Now, if I look at social networking primarily has been a phenomenon around data around the globe. Yes, data is growing in this part of the world also, but can I bring in a flavor of voice to social networking here? Can I create ad hoc communities? I, as Atul Madan, during my office hours, I am a professional working in my office. When I go home, I am a father, I am a husband, I like entertainment. So I have various different kinds of profiles within those 24 hours. Now, so my needs in these 24 hours are very different. Let's say when I'm at home, my electricity connection goes off. I need some electrician services. So I have become a casual member of that social network, of social community, which is providing me these services. Can I create and think and create services around individuals' needs for 24/7? Let's not look at me or you as engineer who is working in a high-tech organization with high-tech job profile. But when we are at homes, we have very basic needs also. So idea is, look at services which can bring people together depending upon my basic needs. Let's not be thinking only of the high technology all the time, but can we serve the basic needs of the people? Can I help a farmer somewhere in the countryside, in some village, remote village, find the right price for his produce? Can I create services which will help him find at what price should he go and sell his rice today? Where will he get the best price? Can I create services around that? Can I allow learning through mobile phones? I think a mobile phone can be a very powerful tool to allow I'm learning. When we were in Africa and we were working with an operator who wanted to establish connect with the people there, what is it that will allow an operator to establish that connect? When you think of Africa, what are the biggest challenges you think of first? Probably healthcare. Malaria is the biggest killer in Africa. HIV is such a high prevalent disease there in Africa. Can I provide healthcare assistance to people using my mobile? Can I provide doctor on call kind of services? Yes, of course, you are not providing very, I would say, services which are for which you need physical checkup by the doctor. But can you still provide some kind of advice to the people? There are a lot of people who just don't know what should they do in case of certain medical emergency. So, and in Nairobi, the most qualified heart surgeon is an MBBS, is not even an MD or MS. So, access to the health system is very, very low. Can we create a community of, let's say, doctors who are available on call for people to access that healthcare service? If we look at, let's say, if we marry augmented reality with, let's say, location, or if we can bring augmented reality together with tourism. I am passing landmark in a city. I've just come in here. Can I be made aware, or can I listen to what this landmark actually means? I think augmented reality together with location can allow me to access that kind of information. Can I use augmented reality for healthcare services? Because it's a superimposition of digital world on the real world. That's what augmented reality is all about. Can I use it there? If I do that, I think it allows people to provide much more advanced level of services. I think the opportunities which exist are a lot of opportunities which exist. The only thing is we have to look at emerging markets differently from the way we look at the Western markets. And we have to see how do we use these technologies or the new evolutions which have happened in technology to suit the emerging markets, subscribers and the consumers. I think if we are able to do that, if we are able to create services which allow our subscribers or our consumers to earn that extra dollar, I'm sure we can all together bring the ecosystem much bigger and much more beneficial to everybody.